Singer Bob Marley, his reggae music known far beyond its roots in Jamaica, died in a Miami hospital today after a long battle against cancer. Bob Marley was 36 years old.
One of the most mysterious events in music history is the death of Bob Marley, a story that many don't know in full. In 1981, the legendary reggae artist passed away at the age of 36, officially due to cancer. However, the circumstances surrounding his death are shrouded in secrecy and speculation. This event left a lasting impact on the music world and raised questions that remain unanswered to this day. It influenced numerous conspiracy theories and highlighted Marley's complex relationship with political and social movements. This is the untold story of Bob Marley's death. Robert Nesta Marley, popularly known as Bob Marley, was born on February 6, 1945, at the farm of his maternal grandfather in 9 Mile St. Anne Parish, Jamaica, to Norval Sinclair Marley and Cedella Malcolm. Norval Marley was a white Jamaican born in Clarendon Parish. Norval went by the moniker Captain, despite only having been a private in the British Army. At the time of his marriage to Cedella Malcolm, an Afro-Jamaican then 18 years old, he was supervising a subdivision of land for war veteran housing, and he was about 64 years old at the time of Bob Marley's birth. Norval, who provided little financial support for his wife and child and rarely saw them, died when Marley was 10 years old. Despite the absence of his father, Marley's maternal grandfather, Omariah Malcolm, who was deeply involved in the Mile tradition, played a significant role in nurturing Marley's love for music from a young age. Interestingly, as a child, Marley was known for his reserved nature, intense gaze, and talent for palm reading. Despite growing up in poverty and lacking basic amenities like running water and electricity in his home, Marley still managed to become a global sensation, overcoming these hardships. Marley, along with his childhood friend Neville Livingston, later known as Bunny Wailer, began making music together while attending Stepney Primary and Junior High School in 9 Mile. When Marley turned 12, he moved to Trenchtown, Kingston with his mother. While in Trenchtown, Marley's mother and Thaddeus Livingston, Bunny Wailer's father, had a daughter named Claudette Pearl, who became a younger sister to both Bob and Bunny. Living under the same roof in Trenchtown, Marley and Livingston expanded their musical horizons, exploring new genres like ska and the latest R&B music from American radio stations broadcasting to Jamaica. Marley's mother later married Edward Booker, a civil servant from the United States, giving Marley 2 half-brothers, Richard and Anthony. At the tender age of 15, Marley took his first significant steps toward musical immortality. He formed a band with his friends Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer, which underwent several name changes, including the Teenagers, the Wailing Rude Boys, and the Wailing Wailers, before eventually settling on the name The Wailers. Joe Higgs, a member of the successful vocal duo Higgs and Wilson, resided nearby and provided encouragement to Marley. During this period, Marley and his friends focused on vocal harmony rather than playing instruments, and Higgs helped them refine their harmonies while also teaching Marley how to play the guitar. Later, vocalist Junior Braithwaite and backup singers Beverly Kelso and Cherry Green joined them. The band's rise to fame began with the release of Simmer Down in 1963. This song, unlike others at the time, resonated deeply with the struggles of the impoverished residents of Kingston, Jamaica. Its popularity marked a significant shift in the perception of music in Jamaica, allowing for raw and unfiltered storytelling about the hardships faced by many West Indians. This bold stance not only transformed Bob Marley and his band, but also instilled a sense of pride among the urban poor, becoming a defining aspect of Jamaican culture. Additionally, the band's adherence to Rastafarianism, a faith prevalent among the Caribbean's disadvantaged, further contributed to this cultural shift. The Wailers' Rastafarian faith, popular among the impoverished people of the Caribbean, also contributed to this transformation, as they worshipped the late Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie I as the African Redeemer foretold in popular quasi-biblical prophecy. During the mid-1960s, the Wailers did well in Jamaica with their ska records, even when Marley left temporarily for Delaware in 1966 to be with his mother and find work. Their reputation grew with reggae songs produced by Lee Perry between 1969 and 1971. When they signed with the international label Island in 1972, they released Catch a Fire, the first reggae album that wasn't just a collection of singles. This helped them reach a global audience with their unique rock-influenced reggae. Marley became a superstar, leading to the breakup of the original trio around 1974. Despite the band's breakup, Peter Tosh and Bunny Wailer pursued solo careers, albeit with less recognition than Bob Marley. Notably, Eric Clapton covering the Wailers' "I Shot the Sheriff" in 1974 made Marley even more famous. Meanwhile, Bob Marley continued to lead the Wailers through a series of influential albums. His backing vocalists, including his wife Rita Marley and their children, particularly Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers, also achieved success in their own right. Marley's significant albums like Natty Dread, Live, Rastaman Vibration, Exodus, Kaya, Uprising, and Confrontation had songs like No Woman No Cry, Exodus, Could You Be Loved, Coming In From the Cold, Jamming, and Redemption Song. His music, blending rhythm and blues, rock, and reggae, resonated with audiences worldwide, creating a body of work that went beyond its musical influences and spoke to people with its heartfelt messages. Bob Marley's impact extended beyond music into the political and social landscape of Jamaica. In 1976, he faced what many believed was an attempt on his life due to his perceived political involvement. The Smile Jamaica concert, at which Marley and the Wailers were scheduled to perform on December 5, 1976, initially meant to be a non-political gathering, transformed into a platform perceived to endorse Prime Minister Michael Manley of the People's National Party. This led to calls for legislative elections. 2 days before the concert, gunmen attacked Marley's residence, possibly in retaliation for his alleged support of Manley, injuring Rita Marley, Bob Marley's manager Don Taylor, a band member, and Marley himself. Shortly after performing the concert, Marley fled Jamaica, first to the Bahamas and then to London, where he lived in exile for a period, and recorded Exodus, which would be hailed by Time magazine as the most important album of the 20th century, a political and cultural nexus, drawing inspiration from the Third World and then giving voice to it the world over. By 1978, Jamaica was on the brink of civil unrest, according to some observers, prompting Marley to intervene in an attempt to reconcile the country's warring political factions. This effort culminated in Marley headlining the One Love Peace concert in April 1978. At the concert, Marley brought together Prime Minister Michael Manley and his political rival, Edward Seaga of the Jamaica Labour Party, in a symbolic gesture of unity. Marley's influence transcended national borders, earning him an invitation to perform at the 1980 ceremonies marking Zimbabwe's majority rule and internationally recognized independence. This recognition underscored Marley's significant socio-political clout and his ability to bridge divides through his music and advocacy. Bob Marley was deeply involved in the Rastafari movement, which heavily influenced the development of reggae music. He embraced Rastafari and promoted its music not only in Jamaica, but also on the global stage. As a Rastafarian, Marley believed that Haile Selassie I of Ethiopia was a manifestation of God, known as Jah. However, towards the end of his life, Marley converted to Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity and was baptized as Burhan Selassie by Archbishop Abuna Yesehak on November 4, 1980, shortly before his death, with his wife Rita Marley and their children present. Being a Rastafarian, Marley advocated for the legalization of cannabis, or ganja, which Rastafarians consider a sacrament aiding meditation. Marley began using cannabis when he embraced Rastafari in 1966 and continued to do so despite being arrested in 1968 for possession. He saw cannabis as a means to introspection, believing that it revealed one's conscience and facilitated meditation and wisdom. Marley's beliefs were also rooted in Pan-Africanism, advocating for the unity of African people worldwide. Inspired by Marcus Garvey, Marley incorporated anti-imperialist and Pan-Africanist themes into many of his songs. Songs like Zimbabwe, Exodus, Survival, Black Man Redemption, and Redemption Song reflect his commitment to African liberation and unity. Redemption Song was influenced by a speech by Marcus Garvey in 1937, expressing Marley's belief in the independence of African nations from European control as a victory for all people of African descent. In Africa Unite, Marley calls for solidarity among the African diaspora to combat oppression, while Zimbabwe celebrates the liberation of Africa and urges unity among all Africans, both at home and abroad. Bob Marley, the renowned Jamaican singer, reached the pinnacle of his career when he was diagnosed with a rare form of skin cancer in 1977. Despite this health setback, he persisted in performing, touring globally, and releasing new music. However, in the following years, his cancer diagnosis began to significantly impact his daily life. During a break from performing at Madison Square Garden in New York City, Marley suffered a seizure while playing soccer with friends in Central Park. Rushed to a nearby hospital, doctors discovered that his cancer had spread throughout his body, giving him only a few months to live. Despite the dire prognosis, Marley maintained a positive outlook. According to Dr. Carlton Pee Wee Fraser, Marley's friend and personal physician in the 2012 documentary Marley, Marley expressed determination to fight the illness, stating, "Listen, we're gonna fight it, all right? Regardless of what the doctors might say or what they might do, we're gonna fight it, 'cause a Rasta never give up." Despite seeking alternative treatments worldwide, Marley passed away on May 11, 1981 in Miami. But how did Bob Marley die? And what were his final days like? Well, Bob Marley passed away from acral lentiginous melanoma, a rare type of skin cancer that had spread throughout his body over several years, according to information from the Skin Cancer Foundation. His diagnosis came in July 1977 when he sought medical help for a lesion beneath the big toe on his right foot. Initially, Marley believed it to be a soccer injury, but a biopsy conducted by a second doctor confirmed it as cancer. Despite a doctor's recommendation for toe amputation, Marley chose a less invasive option, having only the nail and some affected tissue removed for a skin graft. He continued without regular medical care for the next few years, all while continuing to produce music and tour worldwide. In September 1980, Marley's condition worsened significantly. After performing 2 shows at Madison Square Garden, he collapsed while exercising in Central Park. Rushed to Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, doctors discovered that the cancer had spread to his brain, lungs, and other organs. In an interview with The New Yorker, Marley's manager Danny Sims recalled one doctor expressing shock at the extent of the cancer, stating that Marley had more cancer in him than I've seen with a live human being. With just a few months left to live, Marley performed his final concert in Pittsburgh 2 days later. Following the concert, his road manager, Alan Cole, decided to cancel the remaining tour dates, recognizing it was in Marley's best interest. Despite undergoing chemotherapy, Marley's health did not improve. Cole then explored alternative treatments and attended a cancer seminar where he encountered a controversial German doctor offering holistic, non-toxic care, primarily based on diet. There was a German doctor named Dr. Josef Issels present. He is the only person known to have successfully treated that type of cancer, melanoma. He was a leading cancer specialist who did not follow conventional treatment methods. He opposed the established medical system and pharmaceutical companies, Cole explained to the Jamaica Observer in 2021. After reviewing Issels' research, the American Cancer Society concluded that there wasn't enough evidence to support the effectiveness of his treatment. Marley traveled to Germany to receive treatment at Issels' clinic and continued this course of treatment for the following 8 months. By May 1981, Marley's health had deteriorated, and he decided to discontinue treatment. When it became evident that his cancer was terminal, he chose to return home to Jamaica to spend his remaining days. However, Marley never made it back as he fell ill during the flight. The plane landed in Miami, and he was taken to Cedars of Lebanon Hospital, where he passed away a few days later. Marley was 36 years old at the time of his death. Marley's family, including his wife Rita Marley, brought his children from Jamaica to be by his side at Cedars of Lebanon Hospital in the days leading up to his death. I gathered all the children who were in Jamaica, including those who were not mine but were from other mothers. I told them, "Come, Daddy wants to see all of you," Rita recounted in the documentary Marley. Ziggy, his son, still remembers his father's final words of inspiration to him, telling people in 2024, he said, "On your way up, take me up. On your way down, don't let me down." A father-son relationship is very deep, and it's a spiritual thing also, Ziggy continued. We share a certain spiritual foundation. My father, myself, my brothers, and my sisters. So that word means exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm doing. It just means that I don't have to think about it, really, because I was doing it anyway. Ziggy also debunked the internet rumor that Marley's last words were, "Money can't buy life." The musician told people, "That's not true." The news of Marley's death sent shockwaves around the world, surprising many fans who had believed he was on the path to recovery. According to the documentary Marley, fans were under the impression that Marley would soon return to touring, making his passing all the more unexpected. In Jamaica, Marley was accorded a state funeral on May 20th, 1981. Following a private church service for his family, thousands of mourners converged at the National Arena in Kingston to bid farewell, as reported by the Jamaica Observer. Rita Marley performed Fly Away Home, while Prime Minister Edward Seaga delivered a eulogy, reminiscing about Marley's humble beginnings in Jamaica and his ascent to global stardom. Seaga referenced Marley's lyrics from Fly Away Home. "One bright morning when my work is over, I will fly away home," he remarked. Now his soul will find contentment in the achievements of his life and rejoice in the greatness of Jah Rastafari. Marley was laid to rest in a mausoleum near his birthplace of 9 Mile in St. Ann Parish, Jamaica. He was buried alongside his Gibson Les Paul guitar, an open Bible to Psalm 23, and a stalk of cannabis, as noted by The Guardian. His mother, Cedella Booker, was buried nearby in 2008, while his brother, Anthony Booker, was buried in a tomb above him in 1990. Fans continue to visit the gravesite to pay homage to the legendary musician. Even after Marley's passing, his influence has endured in the music industry and pop culture. In 1994, he was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in 2001, he was commemorated with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. That same year, he was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Recording Academy. In 2010, Rolling Stone magazine recognized him as one of the 100 greatest artists of all time. Marley's sons attribute his enduring legacy to their efforts to keep his music alive, along with Marley's ability to connect with a diverse audience. One of the things I have also noticed is that people continue to see Bob as a human being. This is based on who they think he was, based on what they have read, heard, and seen in the various interviews and taken from the music, Ziggy told the Jamaica Observer in 2021. They hold him in high regard, but at the same time they see him as someone who they could drink a beer with, smoke some weed, he continued. He could have been their friend. Not a lot of people see Michael Jackson or Elvis Presley in that way, but Bob's relatability as a person draws them to him. Nobody else in the history of music draws people to them in that way. Most recently, Marley's life was portrayed in the 2024 film Bob Marley, One Love. Marley's wife Rita and children Ziggy and Cedella served as producers, while actor Kingsley Ben-Adir portrayed the late reggae star. There's moments in there where we're like, yeah, that's just like Daddy. I want people to take away emotion, but the bigger idea is for people to come together and live together in a peace and love, Ziggy told People of the Project. The message in the movie is unity. That's what the movie stands for. Additionally, in 2023, Marley's grandson, Joshua Omaru YG Marley, son of Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley, achieved breakthrough success with his debut single, Praise Jah in the Moonlight, which entered the top 40 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reached the top 10 in the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Norway, and Sweden. As we reflect on Marley's journey, we are reminded of the importance of preserving his memory and carrying forward his message of peace, love, and unity. Through documentaries, films, and the continued success of his family members in the music industry, Marley's legacy lives on, inspiring new generations to embrace his values and strive for a better world. What revelations have resonated with you the most? How do you think Marley's legacy continues to shape music and culture today? Share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe now for exclusive content and updates. Thank you for joining us on this meaningful journey.